Hey there, lads and lasses. This here, of course, is Thunderhand64 coming at you live from the west coast of the United States here on a Friday morning. Welcome to Friday. It is a little past 11 a.m. That can only mean that it is time for some Buffooncraft SMP. And before we get too far underway, I would like to welcome in friend, moderator of this stream, and fellow buffoon, Princess Nebula. I don't get how it's Friday already. I regained consciousness this morning and thought it was Saturday. So I completely skipped past Friday in my head this morning. So Mrs. Thunderhand works weekends occasionally. And so when I woke this morning, I'm like, wow, are you on call today? Is that why you're still here? She goes, no, it's Friday. You need to drive Kachi to school. Ok. All right. And of course, there is the real foolish sage himself. You guys should be able to see the auto shoutouts up there for both Nebula and Sage. If you could drop by and check them out the next time they are streaming, you'll not be disappointed. They are, of course, buffoons, so yes, they are there. All right, let's at least log onto the server. Let's get that far today. Let's see, display scene right over here. Multiplayer. And Sage is already in there. There we go. And of course, it's night has fallen upon our Mushroom Island. There. Let's do the sleeping thing, shall we? I am a little bit agitated today. I finished the video redeem for the month of March. Now that it is, at least here, it's March 28th. It's very, very late. But I did finish it this morning, and I was very excited to upload it and set it up on Triggerfire. And guess what? Triggerfire will not load. I have the web page through the browser that allows you to upload your videos and stuff. It would not load. And I checked everything on my end. Our internet connection is solid. My system is solid. Everything on my end is fine. So it's definitely them. And that is extremely disappointing. Because I was very excited to show you guys the new video redeem today. And I'm not going to be able to do that. Nope. Now, I try not to get too upset at services like Triggerfire because they are free. I mean, I don't pay for that. So I am not upset, but I am disappointed because I do need it to work. And it's not working. I am not pleased. All right, I need to get rid of some of this stuff. That's what I'm doing. I do not have a lot of things planned for today. I've been distracted by other things. Sage. But pleasantly so. Yeah, we've been having a lot of fun with stuff. So, and I am thankful for the other things. And so am I, actually, because it's been a lot of fun. So maybe we'll drop by and take a look at that this stream. Let's unload some stuff here. I've been draining a huge lake to turn it back on. Cool. Yeah, with what we were working on, that usually requires a lot of prep work of the site. And also, before we get too far into all of those things, we at Buffooncraft here on the server have an event coming up on Sunday. And it's supposed to be a big event. I think, I'm not entirely sure, but I think it marks the halfway point through the season. And that will be on Sunday. And you can check the Buffooncraft Discord. Do this. There we go. The link for the invite is, you should see it up there in the chat. If you aren't already a member, please consider joining. You'll not. It's a lot of fun. You can know all things Buffooncraft, and particularly about events that are coming up. So the event should be on Sunday. As usual, I'll not stream it, only because I like the buffoons to be able to relax and be free with their speech. And but I will record it, and they will be streaming it on their streams. So there is that. So one of the things I'd like to do today is prep for that. There's a little bit of gearing up I have to do, just to update my gear and stuff like that. So sometimes we have potty mouths. Sorry. I wouldn't say it quite like that, although it's cute. So I like to do a family-friendly stream whenever possible, but sometimes I deviate from that, like Kachi Time. Sometimes the games that we play on Kachi Time, Kachi wants to play some maturely rated games, and so we do that, even though our dialogue is usually family-friendly. But even though I stream family-friendly, I don't like to restrict the other buffoons to that. I don't think that's right. And so I just record that, and then if I decide to post the recording, then I edit it. All right, let's take a. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. Before I don't really need to. I wanted to bring you guys around the island and show you a little bit about what's been going on, but I wanted to do that in a particular way. Let's get this over here. Yeah, height of 64 ought to do. I think this is a good vantage point right about here. And let's adjust some settings. Video, render distance, boom shakalaka. Let's pillar on up, shall we? Yeah, I would definitely not say sometimes. But one thing I really don't like is when the buffoons are like very self-conscious and walking on eggshells, trying to edit their speech just for the sake of my stream. I don't like that. So yeah, so when the events come about and I'm participating in them, I just tell everybody that I'm recording. I haven't heard you say the boom in forever. Yeah, welcome back, Nebs. Especially not at current egg prices in the US. But check this out. So I've changed my settings temporarily, and using the Bobby mod, we can get things to render in now, and it's cool, man. I mean, look, you can see the entire island. It may be difficult if you're on mobile and you're looking at this through your phone screen, but you can see things rendering in. And it just looks really cool. Plus, things instantly get a lot smaller when you do this. There's Arma. Hey, welcome on in, Arma. Yeah, so Bobby's helping us render in the chunks, right? And so Now you can actually see the entire island base like this, and you realize it's actually not that big. You know, when I'm working on it and stuff, it seems like it's really large, but it's not. It's a very good base size, I would say. Not only that, but you can see our surroundings quite well too. You can see the southern shore out there. As I pan out to the northwest, the west and the northwest here, you can see some of the shoreline rendering in out there. Now, some of this is Bobby rendering in the northern and western shorelines. Over there, you can see OPG's base. You can see some of his structures are rendering in there. That's really, really cool. See the iron farm. You can see the goat farm. There's the bee farm over there. Of course, there's the mighty trade hall, right? Oh, we got to move that. The early game pillager reserve. Over this way, you can see our southern mob farm is rendering in. The one I share with my neighbor over that way, Supernova Relic. Although I need to get on the... If I get over here to the shoreline, then his base will render in. There's the very northern point of his peninsula, but most of his base is down in the south, right in that area. There's Eve. Hey, welcome on in, Eve. Of course, you guys can see the auto shout-out there for fellow Buffoon. Call me Eve Gaming. I'm not sure how much Nova enjoyed my little prank. I would say not much. But, you know, you got to cut Nova some slack with his frustration because he doesn't really have a lot of time when he logs on the server here. And I can feel that. And the nature of that particular prank was very time-consuming. By the way, I loved it. I thought it was hilarious, but I sympathize with him. I heard you say, Holy Eve Gaming. I would never say that. I know you too well. Yeah, you can see Nova's base rendering in just in the distance. And if I increased my chunk rendering even more, you would be able to see it in. But you can see his retaining wall right there and his extraneous portal. He has an interior portal there as well. But you can just see that loading in. And then you can see the southern shore and everything. I thought he was actually closer to my base than OPG was, but I would not be correct in that assumption. It was a stack of hearts hidden around his base. Yes, we all know that. Nova made that very aware. Took forever to remove them again, yes. You know, that's one of those where it makes you say to yourself, you know, seemed like a good idea at the time. And then, yeah, no, it wasn't. Well, he did know it was a full stack. Oh, my God, you guys. And so some of the other things we've done is we've installed our coral roads. They're all in place now. I'm going to try to leave the render distance on for a little bit here, just while we're playing around on the island here. And then before we head out and start working, I'll knock it back down to 32. My system can handle this fairly well. But just in case, I'd like to knock it back down to 32. But it's cool seeing the builds now with the shoreline in the background. I really enjoy that. But you can see the coral roads are now all in place. The main ones are, anyway. The cardinal roads are all in place. Oh, did I misspeak when I quoted that? He didn't know it was a full stack. Yeah. Yeah, that was. Oh, man. But yeah, you guys can see the roads are all in place now. Right. And it looks really cool. The view from the reef here, and my favorite view from this, I guess I should be on Huxley right now. But my favorite view is off the back deck of the bee farm. When I'm looking at the southern and western surroundings here. Hello, Mushies. We can go around the back side here. Up on the deck. Yeah, the reef looks really cool, especially at nighttime. And now, because of the render distance, we have Bobby set up correctly. Now we have the background. It just looks really cool. Such a beautiful location. I really lucked out with this one. That reef is just beautiful. Eve. Stop that. Hello, bumblebees. That's my favorite view. That is really awesome. Nova's view over here, too, is really nice. On the east side here. The east side. The lower east side. You know what I'm saying? Eve's being cheeky there. One thing I do need to do, though, is I need to put in the very short coral road to the east. Over here. Yeah, which means moving that. So that's something we should probably do today. We'll take a look over there. Before we get too much into this, though, and I keep saying that, before we do this, and before we do that, and before we do that, that's the nature of Minecraft. Hey, you know, I'm going to build an iron farm. Well, before you build the iron farm, you need the honey farm. Before you build a honey farm, you need the glass farm. Before you build a glass farm, you need the... Oh, Minecraft. Let's pop over and visit the real foolish one himself. I'm not allowed to be nice. Sure you are. You just choose not to be. A basic iron farm is definitely one of the first things, though. Yeah, but, you know, again, it's one of those things where, you know, I want to do this, but before I do this, I have to do that. Before I do that, I have to do that. You know, it's annoying. It can get annoying like that. I find myself in temporary paralysis sometimes trying to work out that flow chart in my head. But I will say this, and Nebula, I don't know if you're still listening, but for Season 7, for early game, for our public farms like that, yeah, I think the order in which we go to make things less stressful for all of us is probably crank out that iron farm first. And then use for the trade hall, build out the trade hall second. And the first module of the trade hall should probably be the iron traders, right? Because that is a really fast and lucrative trade. The iron farm's already up and running. Use the iron ingots, trade, start to get some things, right? You can get the emeralds out with the iron, and we can use that to then build up the pumpkin and melon farm and then build everything else out. Yeah, I want to find a faster farmer, though, farm for Season 7, yeah. But I think that order, and I think I kind of dropped the ball on that one. You guys had the iron farm up and running, and Nebs and I were thinking of different things for like we were going to build a trade hall in the nether for the iron traders and stuff, and then, you know, we were talking to Nova about it and decided not to do it. But we went for the trade hall and then had the delay with the pumpkin farm and melon farm. And I think Season 7, we ought to be able to just have like one trade hall and get that iron trade module up as fast as possible. We'll just build those two in tandem. I think that's the better way to go about it. All right, let's knock down the Render distance back down to 32 chunks. 32 chunks, which is still pretty high, by the way. Dun 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 dun. This guy, I need to relocate him now, but we're gonna keep him around. We're gonna keep him around. Excuse me. So this little hillock right here, it's upon this that I shall be building my my little bothy right here, and I'm gonna bring back the season 2 bothy. It's gonna be a little bit different, but not much. Bothy's a bothy, right? So we'll be putting that here. And it'll have a little garden section and stuff. And I think I will move. In fact, I know I will move our invertebrate friend from over here into the little garden, and he'll camp out there. That one only took 12 hours to... That one only took 12 hours to pump out in one day, so it was decent. We log onto the server early game. It's like day 1, and everybody's punching trees and gathering resources. And Nebs is mining for iron. And I don't know, how far did you get into that, Nebs? You were mining for about maybe an hour, a little bit more than that. And you're like, screw this, let's go make an iron farm. And just bang, bang, boom, it's just done. Typical Nebula. And OPG! More buffoons. Hey there, neighbor. You guys can see the auto shout out up there for OPG. Welcome on in. Being nice. It's not okay. I'm being mean. He doesn't read it. Oh, where was that earlier? Oh, there it is. It's up there. I understand. Fine. Your face is a coral reed to the east road. Okay. All right. I read it there. Are you happy now? I'm not a very good streamer. I'd like to say that I'm new to this, but that would not be true. Have I been to your area? Not yet, but I'll possibly stop by on the way back. But we did look at it across the water, though. I showed those guys how it renders in with it looks cool. It looks cool. But I have seen the cactus farm post. I haven't been there yet, but I have seen it. So on the way back, I'll stop on in. Because I do not have a lot planned for today. Which I guess for most streamers that would be a bad thing. But that means, for me, I get to associate with my neighbors for a little bit. Made a forge building. Oh, okay. All right. With the smelter and the whole works, I assume? Well, I guess we'll find out when we drop by on the way back. And here we are. Ouch. Okay. Okay. We got this, Sage. We've got this. Bang. Next to the orange building. Not done yet. Okay. Would you rather have me wait until it is finished before I show it on stream, or... Because I don't mind. You can see it. Okay, fine. All right, now... No, I think I set up the water stream on this side. Yeah, there it is. So Sage and I have been doing a little bit of work over here. Let's head up topside. You can see it, but you can't be it. Okay. Yeah, it's a bit of a swim up here. Thankfully, I'm a strong swimmer. I was waiting for the inappropriate remark for that, but then I remembered family-friendly stream. Ah, yes. Well, let's get some food while we're doing this. And that's at the point. That's the point at which the conduit runs out. Le conduit. And our oxygen starts to deplete, but you can see we're almost there at the top. Yeah, see, I'm being nice. The effort is noted, Eve. Respecting the family friendliness. Aw. Gotta lurk about 10 minutes. Be right back, please. Do what you need to do. Take your time. So, there he is.
Here he is.
Why, hey there.
Hi. I've been soaking up water. Yeah.
Wow.
Mind your step. The thing really does work.
Let me see. Pearls are in the hot bar. We should be all set to go.
Yeah. I think I got most of the water out.
Hey, I just thought of something cool.
What?
We need to make a club in town. No, not a pub, because we have plenty of pubs and they're awesome. We need to make a club and call it the Hot Bar.
The hot bar?
Yeah. No.
And no, I'm like picturing like walls that is like flowing lava.
That wasn't what I was picturing, but
I have occasionally thought of, you know how we have just like a ridiculous amount of splash potions of fire resistance in the pig farm?
Yeah, that we do.
The hot bar can be entirely on fire and have just like an entrance that blasts splash potions at you. So as you walk through the entrance, you get blasted by the fire resistance.
The floor is
chill
lava.
Well, the problem with the floor being lava is that it's like it slows you down, but the floor can be on fire, and that's you just have the walls made of lava, the floor is made of fire, and you can just chill there.
Sage, I think we have something going there.
Yeah, I think it's a madness ready to happen.
Yes. Hey, welcome on in, Dora.
Speaking of madness ready to happen, would you like to do the thing?
Yeah. I'll let you do the honors.
So the trick is getting the block back, but
it's a flaw in this design, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm pretty sure we could just replace it with a lead.
I think any block will do, right?
Well, it's specifically powering the piston, so.
Yeah, if you wanted the block to stick out and you wanted an intermediate block between that and the piston, yeah. But I think as well you could just stick a lever on there.
In any case,
there it goes. Now you're gonna go retrieve your redstone block. Oh, render distance might be kind of cool here, although I don't think it's going to help me. Video settings, render distance. Let's crank this up because I haven't been to the surrounding chunks here recently.
Yeah, and Bobby won't help with the destruction because we won't get an updated version.
Yeah, that's right, we won't.
But we can run back and forth.
Yeah, I haven't been over there since. In fact, it's probably more accurate without Bobby on, right? For that.
So like every time it's heads south, it's nudged over by a little bit. So some they can actually get caught on higher ledges, which blows them up. But it also makes the other one explode further to the right because then it'll push the other ones, which is fun.
So how many passes have you made on this so far? It looks like about maybe 3.
Like it started, I think, roughly here-ish. So
okay.
Yeah, like 5 maybe. Like I basically just let it run for a while and then saw the water and it's like, okay. First it was like a small puddle of water, so I kind of just ran in there while it was bombing away, and just sort of got rid of the water and hid every time I heard the explosions get near. And then I saw a huge lake, and I was like, okay, we need to turn off the machine for this one.
So, yeah, there was a slight flaw in the video tutorial for this that we came over and we figured out what it was. So Sage and I were working on this and we were taking a look at it, studied the video, and I noticed a couple things, and then Sage noticed a few other things, and then we got it working. The original design is really good. It's a RaiseWorks design, but the tutorial video was from Buffooncraft, and usually they have outstanding tutorial videos. This was not one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This video could have been better. Like, the device is amazing.
Yeah, the device is really cool, but that's really credit to RaiseWorks. This is his design.
Yeah.
But I have some prior experience with the flying machines in the TNT dupers, a little bit, but not a lot, so I figured I'd offer to come over and help out here so I could learn a little more about it.
Yeah, this one's super cool because first it has 2 dupers side by side.
Yeah, the tandem
every
dupers.
time it completes a north-south lap, the whole device on this end nudges one block east. The receiving station at the other end also goes 1 block east, and it just does another north-south. So it's constantly going back and forth with the double dupers, and then moves just 1 block and does it all over again. So it's doing a lot of damage with each pass, but it's also just like it's just going to eat away at that entire mountainside. Yeah,
and so those of you who aren't familiar with how this is and how this works and what it's doing, so it's digging a big hole is what it's doing, and it's doing it layer by layer all the way across. So it will make its first pass at this altitude here and take off several layers, heading all the way east over to there. And oh, look what we have.
Careful, we've got angry neighbors again.
Yeah, usually we don't bother with these guys, but if you guys mess with this flying machine.
Like, I don't think they have a way to negatively affect the flying machine.
I don't think they
I'm
do.
not willing to risk it.
But there's, I'm always surprised. There, he's gone. He's gone. You gray-skinned grumblies.
And it's a great source of bad omen bottles.
Bad omen. I've got some bad omen for you right here.
Yeah, so it's on its way back again. And then the whole assembly just nudges over by 1 block. Whoever comes up with these things just blows my mind.
Yeah, I mean,
it's wild.
Yeah, at first you look at it and you build it out, you look at the video, and it's just like a whole mess of slime blocks and observers and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Even after you build it, you follow it block by block, and it still looks like, oh my god. But then when you actually see it work, you can start to see the different parts of it.
Like, for me, the biggest shock was when half the build moves and the other half stays here.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this entire part here is like a docking station.
That's right,
and
yeah.
That is the machine.
And it's not obvious when you're building it, right? I mean...
Yeah.
But then you get to see it work, and it's like, oh, okay, that's the flying machine part. And then you can look at this, and then you can see, okay, this is actually two separate flying machines linked together. Okay, so that's what one flying machine looks like. And then you can build up the components, and then you start to put them together, and then it becomes clear.
Yeah.
Now, I think Nova recommended this one, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, this is the one he used in Season 4 for that absolutely insane mob farm that he built in Season 4.
Yeah.
Which I think sadly got overlooked. I've mentioned it before, but I think that got overlooked, in Season 4 because there were so many spectacular builds. Especially, I think we all got overshadowed by that end build. It was just so incredible.
Yeah.
But that mob farm that he built down in the south was absolutely insane.
Yeah, just absolutely bonkers.
And so, yeah, he built a huge perimeter there and blasted out a perimeter, and I guess he used this machine to do it. Now, this isn't 100% AFKable, right?
So, I would say no, because if lava or water is where the TNT lands, it doesn't do any damage. So I kind of need to keep a bit of an eye on it to see if there's a big lake or something that needs
that gets
sopping
exposed,
up.
yeah.
Because otherwise that'll just be a pillar that gets left behind, right? Just like a single water source will then cascade down and become like a little hill. Now, also not the end of the world if I have to go back and clear it out, but if it's a huge underwater lake, that's a whole area. That's going to be a problem.
Yep.
On top of that, there is a maximum depth that they'll explode at. Now, because this keeps on nudging over, I don't think it'll necessarily reach that. But at some point, when this machine is all the way at the end, we need to disassemble it and build it again lower to keep digging.
Right, and then send it back, yeah.
Because we need to dig about 200 blocks from where we're standing.
Yeah, and so the depth restriction, again, for the viewers who don't use these things too often, the TNT will detonate before it actually touches anything if it has too far to drop. So that's the restriction on the depth.
Process.
Yeah.
As soon as it leaves the machine, and if it just keeps falling, it'll explode midair.
Yeah, Nebula.
I think.
And Draken used one of these on one of Nebula's worlds. I don't think it was this particular kind, though. Theirs was more a horizontal thing when she made this most insane wither farm ever. Oh, my God. But I remember going in there on their solo world and messing around with that a little bit, too. I just don't do this as often as I would like, so...
Yeah, instead of buttoning the entire nether, this is also something you can do to make a wither farm run better. It's just explode the entire nether.
Yeah.
But it has less open air, so you need to open up the space first for the machine.
Hey, get this.
Yeah, you do have tunnel borers, which...
Yeah, and this was more like a tunnel bore kind of thing, if I remember correctly, Nebs. But I don't know if you can see in the chat there.
Yeah.
I cleared out a 257 by 257 spawn area around a single point.
Oh, God, it took 3 months to clear out. Well...
That's Nebula for you. One woman eco disaster.
We've also took about 3 months to get to this point, but
yeah, but there was a lot of downtime.
That's my procrastination.
Yeah, both of us were procrastinating. I mean, I said I would come by and help you with this, and that was what, like a month ago, maybe.
Well, I've gone full loop on my procrastination projects.
Oh, so you're back around? Yeah, okay.
So I'm here now, but yeah.
Procrastination mod B.
The roof to the museum. She seems very happy with it, so I shall definitely be continuing that one.
I think what Sage is trying to get across is he procrastinated on procrastinating, doing different projects until his next procrastination project came back around to this.
Exactly. No, that is the pro level of procrastination, right? Where you just like you do it in a circle.
And then Nebula's continuing to point out it was from bedrock to bedrock and flossed,
wow.
so there was no unplaced blocks in that area.
Nebs, you absolutely blow my mind. That's insane.
Hence, that's why I often use the phrase now, gone totally Nebula on something. That's what I mean.
Yes, turning something into a tiny cloud of primordial particles, like a nebula.
Yep.
So I think this is no, it's still digging.
Oh yeah, it's got a ways to go.
Yeah. I thought like the deepest part here was already the depth, but like no, it's still going.
I'm telling you.
Now, as it moves over, it'll be less and less depth and more width. But yeah,
it's taking all I can do not to whack you and say, here, why don't you find out how far down it actually is? Wham! It's just taking all I can do to resist doing that.
Like I've definitely not done that to you because you helped me. Because if it was just a random other person coming here to, let me have a look, they would have gotten a little.
I think we both agreed
Lux
Lux's gear would be floating down there at this point.
Yeah, the trick is doing it after the machine goes that way and not when the machine is coming this way.
Shut Mountain, yeah, he would be down there. Probably Lone Star.
All your gear would explode if that machine gets back.
Yeah, you'd lose all of it, huh?
You'd lose all of it, netherite or not. There's no saving it. So, yeah, only knock people down into the depths as the machine leaves, not as it approaches. Be considerate with your murder.
Yeah, because as it leaves is just merely mischief, but as it's approaching, that's where you cross the line. It's no longer
that's just
mischief.
Being mean.
Yeah.
Now, for people interested in extreme sports, you can run after it and collect all the debris.
Yeah,
right?
when you get down to a certain point, right?
Well, like it's definitely going through bits of copper, bits of iron, whatever. Like it'll eventually just like be exploding diamonds, and all that material will get wasted. It will not get recovered with this machine.
Yeah.
So if you want to recover it, you can run after the explosions. It's just probably not healthy.
Yeah, it's like pointless to be wearing any gear, right? I mean,
well, I think blast resistance might like save you from an explode. Like, not if you're right in the path, but if you get caught by one of the strays that sort of flies off of it, I could see it working.
Yeah, because you can watch the action of the TNT. Like when one detonates as another falls next to it, it'll launch it off sideways.
Yeah.
That could be a little hazardous.
Predictable directions.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like for that, the blast protection might help.
Okay.
But yeah.
Here's Nebs being once more the walking encyclopedia of Minecraft. If you're in netherite armor with Feather Falling 4, you can drop 100-ish blocks and live.
Yeah. I read that as Final Fantasy 4. I was very confused for a bit. If you're in netherite armor with Final Fantasy 4, like, wait, what? What?
With my Hylian shield in my... What's the bow called? I don't know. Biggie would know, though. He's a big Final Fantasy fan.
If we hop down to this intermediate platform, we could probably see the devastation a little bit further down. And again, don't get too close to the edge because TNT can jump at you. But,
Close to the edge, down by the wall. Look at this
thing. Yeah. Also, for the uninitiated, those beacons kind of mark out the city. So that is roughly the hole I want to dig.
Here,
it's everything between.
Pose here next to me for the thumbnail.
Oh, next to you. Yeah.
Yeah, let's move up a little bit. F5 is always difficult. There we go. Like right. Oh, that's a little bit close. Maybe right here. Thumbnail for the VOD. Yeah, there we go. That's cool. Look at that thing going, man. I feel like I'm in peril here.
I mean,
okay,
I
let's
think
go.
we're outside of this flex, but not necessarily in a safe.
Dora's saying I could have done with that today. I jumped backwards off the cliff regarding the feather falling floor.
Yeah.
Look at this thing. Look at that swath of destruction.
Coming back.
Yeah,
And,
this
like,
is not the
first
best
layer
place to
is
stand.
dropped on- no.
Look at the emerald ore. Okay.
Yeah, mind yourself.
Mind the gap.
Mind the ever-growing gap. So yeah, it's a fun time. I just realized that our bed is up there, but
Well, some of us carry a bed on us because we're pro Minecrafters. It's not yet time to sleep. Pretends
Yeah.
to dream. Who could sleep with all that racket going on anyway?
honestly, that should be another condition. But like, you cannot sleep in the path of a TNT duping flying machine.
Yeah, I would say. With the powdered snow.
There you go.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, the powdered snow is really freaking annoying.
that had to have been like a thorn in your side for nearly your entire build.
Like, the ability to do the double jump actually helps you get out of the
Oh yeah,
powdered snow fairly easily.
yeah. There you go.
But yeah, definitely getting like a high efficiency spoon on your hotbar is essential.
I guess
The annoying part of powdered snow is not even the standing in it, it's that regular snow is insta-mine, but powdered snow takes a couple seconds.
Oh yeah.
And that just slows it down when you're trying to clear the snow from a place. That was the most annoying part. But luckily, TNT don't care. So, watching that thing fly by is just
It's so cool.
wild. I truly have no idea how or why these things work, but they do, and that is that's wonderful.
And then Nebs is saying, another fun fact, if you had an elytra, you could fly through the falling TNT and not explode on you. Yes.
Fair.
Hey, if you had like...
Water gets rid of powdered snow.
Yeah, and, you know, think about this, right? What if you had like 2 water streams instead of TNT, and you just had this thing passing over huge fields of powdered snow? And you're
Yeah,
just...
it could just melt all the snow away. That's amazing.
Oh, I'm so tempted to try that now.
Just the most evil sprinkler system. Oh,
Oh yeah, Nebs is saying if you get caught in the powdered snow, you just, you know, some of us keep a bucket of water in our
yeah.
inventory. Just dump the water and you get out of the powdered snow.
also a good one.
Noted, Nebula. Noted.
I shall be running a lot more of my problems by Nebula because there seem to be a lot of really easy solutions to things that I'm overlooking.
I often say I've learned so much Minecraft from Nebs.
I'm quite happy at the near zero amount of floating blocks.
Yeah, the TNT explosion seems to be obliterating the items, right?
Well, not even the dropped items. I mean, just like stone blocks floating in midair of the TNT. Just
Oh,
like
oh yeah,
disintegrates.
that's what you mean. Yeah.
because the original duper I had did leave sort of like some flying artifacts behind. This one seems to be fairly clean.
Yeah, if I know Ray's works, then he's experimented with that distance between the two dupers, and he's got that dialed in perfectly just for that.
Now, for folks, like the original video also goes about how you can get like a sheer surface on the end, like just a clean wall.
Yeah, using the water streams.
Personally, I'm not looking for that because I do want to make it a bit more of an organic cliff, so I'm definitely going to do another pass anyway.
Yeah.
But that is definitely something that most perimeters will have, is like just a clean wall instead of
sheer
whatever
wall.
the heck this is.
Yeah. So for the viewers, if you've seen some of these videos on perimeter digging, what they'll do is they'll run along the top here and they'll place water along the top, and it'll make a sheet of water, a wall of water, all the way down. And then when the duper gets up to that wall, the TNT doesn't detonate through the water, and it leaves a nice flat wall all the way down along the edges. So, but Sage doesn't want that because he wants this to look somewhat natural after. So,
yeah, there's definitely going to be a whole second step of terraforming after this. The duper is done.
Look at that thing. That looks so cool. Let me get caught up in chat.
I'll definitely be here watching this for a significant amount of time.
Dora says, I need lessons from Nebs. It would not hurt you in the least. Trust me.
Yeah.
I highly recommend. I'm good when it's not redstone. If it's redstone, Thunder and Shut are who I go to. Some of us carry around a bucket of water. Some of us panic and die, he says. Dora, if you ever have any questions, just message me. Ooh, I shall. And Eve, don't panic. Don't panic.
I like how
Hitchhikers
Eve's suggesting that you would panic and die, and the advice is not to panic. So the
Yes.
dying part is fine. It's just the panicking part which you should avoid.
Yeah. And as far as the redstone goes, Nebs, I don't know. I think, it's just redstone. You've chosen it not to be like your image. But I don't know. I think if you decided to take up redstone, you would be quite good at that. I really do. I think you're just like, no, I'm not a redstone person, so you choose not to do it. But if you ever did, yeah, I'd be asking you questions. Did you see? I found the block for you. I could have sworn it was sandstone. Fine, I'll just die quietly. Yes, Dora, I did see that, by the way. Sometimes when you have texture packs on in the lighting and the shaders, it's kind of hard to identify what blocks are what. And it looks like it has the same tone as the quartz and the pale oak. And I'm like, what kind of white block has that kind of pattern? But now that you mention it, the end stone, yeah, it makes sense now. Also, I don't know if my mod pack or my shaders are messing my PC up. It's just, if you're regarding my confusion about it, it's just, like I said, because of the shaders and the texture pack and stuff, it looks like it's all one tone. And so I was trying in my head to think, what block has that similar kind of tint to it that has that pattern? Because it looks awesome. It looks awesome. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do that if I can figure out which one it is. I've got so used to the texture pack, I can't figure out the original blocks now. So many emerald ore blocks.
Yeah, they're just going to get obliterated.
What level are you down to now, down there?
I mean, I knocked you in to find out, but the machine's approaching, and...
I was about to pearl down, but I thought to myself, yeah, let's get behind the machine before I do that.
Yeah. Because it has reached its maximum depth.
And
pearl down, and I'll go on my way down.
I should have given you a pearl before I jumped. Now, Sage, this is your base. How do we get out of here quickly when it makes its...
Well, you panic, right? Because he's not allowed to, but we are. Also, just if you stand on this wall, you'll be fine, right? Because
yeah, I suppose.
Shouldn't be able to get here. My way out is roughly on that end, so you have to get past it somehow.
I feel like one of those storm chasers. Remember how popular that was in the 90s?
Oh yeah. Well, you had the movie Twister, and then. Oh, by the way, this was the lake that I cleared out. You see this crevasse going across here? All of this was water.
This what?
Crevasse.
Now that's a fun word to say. Carefully on the family-friendly stream.
Yeah, I mean it's the word for.
It is. It is.
The
It's
hole
not.
in the thing.
You're not wrong.
See, the double jumping is also great to
Yes.
climb mountains.
Yeah. I'm gonna do this for a few moments here.
Yeah, you can just.
What do we have here?
So what was
Dora, I do love a bit of mass destruction in the game. Who doesn't? It's kind of mesmerizing. It is fun to watch, isn't it? My younger son Kachi would love this. Except it's not quite chaotic enough for him. It's too controlled and regulated and stuff, so... That for Kachi would be a little boring. There we are.
Hi.
Oh, it's making its approach.
Yeah. But yeah. Y level 60.
Yeah,
-ish.
that's pretty good.
The city is quite a few lower.
You know, just for the fun of it, you can have a few of those. And so we don't get mobbed by mobs, even though they're not going to be able to do much to us down here.
Oh, you made a little bed hole. Yeah.
Arma saying storm chasing is still popular.
Yeah, so if you look at the bottom of those explosions, you'll see that the TNT doesn't actually hit the flooring.
Yeah, it's still
It
not.
explodes above the floor.
It's still not at its max. Yeah.
Well, it's at its maximum depth, right? It won't dig any deeper than that.
Oh yeah. Now that I look closely, yeah, I can see they're detonating just a little higher. Yeah. It's what, about maybe 3 blocks from the bottom?
Yeah, something like that. So he really did a great job, like calculating it out to the dot. Copper. We need all the copper we can find.
Oh really? Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. For the museum, right?
Turns out that making a roof that has a lot of copper in it requires a lot of copper, especially when the building is huge.
Now, Dora's asking, is it taking the sides off as well? It's taking this side off all the way east. but this side was deeper to begin with, so it'll start trimming off the top of this side all the way down, all the way across, and then we'll set the depth and it'll go a little lower. And so it's traveling this way. So it won't take anything off of this wall to the west, but it will move this east wall back.
Yeah.
Little
It'll
by
move
little.
the east wall black all the way to the stop block that we put in place.
Yeah.
It doesn't move west, so from here it only moves east.
Yeah.
To the south we have the little send back machine at the top there,
Yeah.
and it just goes back and forth, just eats away at this entire wall.
Right. So the viewers who may not have picked up on this when we were up topside, you can see that there's one return registration module there, and then there's another one right here, and these advance by one block east on every pass. So it'll come over here, this will stop it and send it back, and when it does, afterwards it'll move forward by one block. And then it'll go down here to the docking station, this will send it back, and then this will move forward by one block. And so it just keeps advancing like that.
Yeah, so the docking station on the north side moves one block east, but it moves the whole machine east with it as well.
Right.
This station just sends it back and then moves itself, but not the machine. And yeah, so that dark oak tree up there gonna get obliterated.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it is super clever. Ray's Works really knows what he's doing when it comes to this stuff, Dora. Too clever for you. Yeah, a bit too clever for me as well. You know, I mean, I can figure it out, but the cleverness really is in the person who designed it, right? That's where the... Looks like Sage is heading topside.
I suddenly realized that I do want to have those black oak saplings, so...
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
Oh, there he is. I keep forgetting the pearls.
Dude, I gave you 8 pearls.
Yeah. I'm just not used to having them, so I don't
No, I'm teasing.
consider them as a possibility.
See if I can get some saplings for you here before I die.
Yeah, I gotta just have a maximum efficiency hoe with me to get saplings.
Right, and there it is.
Okay, I've got 5 saplings, so that's plenty.
I have 2, so yeah, that should be good.
Now we run away!
Yeah, now we get to see it from this side of the rim too. Let me see, how far over are we? We gotta...
Well, it won't explode here, right? Like, this is as far as
Yeah.
it goes. Let's stop it. So, we are safe.
Yeah, we should be
But
good
on
right
this-
here.
I would stay sort of on the west side of the hole. Just in case. Because some of them do get catapulted off quite a bit.
Yeah, and that was my concern. So sometimes they fly out sideways or a little bit upward. Here it comes. Yeah, and so
watching it slowly melt is fantastic.
it's so much fun, right? And so the viewers who may not know this, Sage has built a base in an ancient city below this. And so the idea is he's stripping off these top layers to expose the ancient city below to the open air. So that's what he's trying to do here. This is mostly
Some of that
used...
musty smell out.
Yeah, you get that musty, mildewy smell out of there.
Exactly.
That skulky smell.
The skulky smell.
Yeah, and so, but this is usually used to make a perimeter, a big old 256 by 256 hole, square hole right down to bedrock, to build mob farms, to optimize mob farms. This is what this is usually used for. But Yeah, it could be used for this as well.
I mean, you could use it for anything, right? You can make a large pond.
Yes, yeah, quite that. So cool. All right, I'll tell you what. We're at the halfway point of the stream. I'm going to take a break, run about 3 minutes of ads, and I shall be right back.
Yep.
Hey there, welcome back. We should be in standing mode. There we go, that's better. Why, thank you, Nebs. All right. Let's switch back over to display scene. Okay, I think we're good here. Let us log back on. And yeah, it wouldn't be Buffooncraft if it wasn't raining.
Problem solved.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Turns out I did have a bed in my inventory. I just kept forgetting to use it.
Alrighty. I see you
I'll be
moved your
watching
little
this whole
wart farm.
I just
Sorry.
So there used to be a Crimson farm next to it,
Yes.
which isn't there. And then right next to that, you see where that little block of strip mangrove is down here.
Yeah.
There used to be a shulker next.
Okay.
So I should have moved that first. Yeah. Oh well.
What was in the shulker, dare I ask?
Oh, nothing too important. Just like supplies for the Crimson and the Warps.
All my diamonds and netherite.
No. I've done that before.
I think we all have. That's why it's funny. In a sad kind of way.
I think it was when we started getting the new Wandering Trader that had like plushies and things.
Oh yeah.
I made a shulker with like valuables to trade with him, and that shulker got deleted. That yeah.
So how far south is this going to this beacon over here, right? I mean, well, you can see the return module up there, right?
It'll go up to there, but it'll kind of have to go a little bit deeper, as this is the depth of the actual city, right? But not all of it, not the whole city goes back down to here.
Right.
So that becomes an opportunity for me to just sort of round that corner instead of making it square.
Yeah, I hear you.
Right, so this will probably be sticking out for a while, and then I'll manually carve sort of like a diagonal between these two.
So let me see. All of this stuff in betwixt here will be obliterated. All of that. This whole hillside here will be taken down. Yeah, out to those beacons over there. Wow. That is some mighty excavation, sir.
Year, but luckily, it won't require much input on my behalf. Because, you can see the flat side of that mountain over there. Like, that had been removed manually.
yeah, you did quite the grind out here.
Jessica also sort of like came over and just sort of like dug, because it's a nice mindless task to do, right? Of just sort of like just going up. But seeing how fast that machine is just like devouring the landscape.
Yeah, let's let it do its thing.
I was actually just checking that like the village breeder is on the safe side of the line. Because it's that would have been awkward.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
All right, my friend, I'll tell you what. How do I get back here? What's the best way? Just hop over the side here, right?
Yeah, just yeet.
There we go.
And you can see the portal from here.
Yes, I can. All right, sir. It's been a pleasure.
If you're comfortable swimming, you can use this to get into swimming mode.
Oh, you mean like that?
Yeah.
Whatever.
It might be faster to get there than treading water.
Yeah, I do have the depth strider though, so that does help.
Okay, not too bad.
Herm.
Well, I'll be seeing you because you're streaming, and I can literally see that.
Carry on. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do now is I'll head over back to my place, but on the way we'll stop by and we'll visit OPG. That's up here, under there. And that is best accomplished. Where am I? Best accomplished this way. right. Let me see. Shot nabs. And then OPG is amidst the scaffolding here. So we have to... did I just pass it already? I think I did. Where's my boat? Yeah, I got to do something about this scaffolding. Not just removing it, but raising it up a little bit and adjusting it. Should we do that this stream? Maybe. Maybe not. OPG! There he is. OPG is a lot closer to my base than I often think he is. Yeah, look at his tunnel here, man. This is so cool. And I think he's AFK at the moment. Let me see. I'm going backwards here. I should be going in this direction. He's live. Okay. You know, this is super cool. If viewers, if you haven't caught his stream, he's streaming right now. I love these kinds of builds because this is more than just like a base or a build. This is a scene. It's a whole town and stuff with all kinds of builds and color in it and stuff. I mean, it's definitely Buffooncraft. Maybe we'll get to raid out to him afterwards. Yeah, and he's definitely got this fairy core theme down. And I like how he's consistent with it, but like each structure still has its own kind of variation to it. There's a big old... Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, if he's still live when we're ready to wrap up, then we'll raid on over. He said over by the orange building, right, was his new forge, and I think that's what he was working on. Maybe over by here? Drake it. Oh dear. I know he had a tower going into here. There he is. Hey there. I'll give you a moment to adjust your VC. I should be... Oh, okay. We'll mime it. We could also type. I assume you can hear me, right? If so, just nod and smile. Yeah, so you get your smelter array here. Yeah. Lava farm? Maybe? And Dora's saying his vibe is so my thing. Oh, yeah. Can you hear me? No, I cannot. There we go. I'll do the sleeping thing. Yeah, Dora, you should definitely check out OPG's stream. There he is. Yeah, when your VC is enabled, you should be able to see the little speaker icon next to your name. And I'm not seeing it. But let's make sure that... Right? Okay, I'm just checking things on my end just to make sure I'm good. Yeah, everything looks good on my end, buddy. I've got him lurked currently. Cool. You know what I'm going to do, if you don't mind, OPG, is I'm going to pillar up and then set my render distance so we can look down on your whole base here. Not metaphorically, I just mean literally. And I think the best place to do that is probably right in the center of where this tower is going to be. I think I can catch it all from right here. So we'll pillar on up like this, and then we'll hit the render distance. We'll get a big old view of what's going on. And OPG, I don't know if you have the Bobby mod set up, but this is a really cool thing to do. Oh, yeah. Well, and let's do this. Let's get the render distance so we can get all the surrounding area, too. Of course, it would require that I've been in the surrounding area, but I have been, so it should render in. Although it may not be updated, but the immediate chunks will. And we might even be able to catch a little bit of my base out there. A little bit of it. Just a little bit. Yeah, there he is down there. I don't know what's going on. It's cool. All right, let's take in the chunks around here. Let's let them load in. You can see him filling in out in the back there. But it's really cool because I think that leads out to the open water. If it doesn't, you know, if OPG just dug a little canal in there, he would have this whole island right here. Well, there would be this too. But this is really cool. And see, he's got this beautiful mountain range behind him here, and that's not even entirely rendered in. You can see some of it starting to come in the back. It's just a super beautiful area. This stuff will be loading in pretty soon, hopefully. But I love these kind of builds. Nova builds these kinds of builds too. Season 2 is coming to mind, where he built a whole seaside fairy village and stuff there. It was really, really cool. Nebula builds like this too. Nebula's built a couple of builds like this. My build is sort of similar, even though it isn't at this level of progression yet. You know, where, you know, I have an island with several structures on it, all connected by roads, although mine isn't quite as town-like or village-like as OPG's is here. But this is just really cool stuff. Now, over here is probably one of the best river biome areas for a drown farm I've ever had spawn into a map before. And I was over here farming drowns before OPG set up over here. So I offered to take down my temporary drown pillar, but he asked me to leave it up, so I'm going to leave it up there. Once you get so high up, you can't. He can't. Yeah. He probably can't hear me right now. Yeah, I want to do a full Mushroom Island in fairy style. That's Nebula for you. I really do want to do a horror village with some iconic horror movie houses. Oh, that's a cool idea, Dora. You know, I like it when I get an idea and a theme like that, because then it's less decision making. I feel on my part, right? It's easier to come up with like the next step and the next idea to expand the build and stuff, you know. Whereas if you're just kind of building randomly without an idea, I find I at least I often struggle to like keep moving forward with it because I don't really have a theme or a pattern, right? Or along those similar lines, I want to make Phasmo houses. Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, OPG's style here he's really knocked us out of the park. And you know, this is something I try to get better at, is building more colorfully. Nova, Nebula, Genie. Now we've got OPG. You know, these guys are the kings and queens of the colorful builds. Villager too. Villager is just outstanding. You know, most of the buffoons are. I think it's easier to name the ones like myself who are not quite so colorful. I think the rest of you guys really are. Me, I've got to get a little better at this. Like if I pan around to some of his pixel art and stuff, it's just really cool. Like look at the amethyst and the purple concrete and stuff for the brown and the mangrove. It's just a really good eye for color, right? Really cool. Like I said, you know, he's embraced the theme. Like if you look at the end, the peak decorations on the roof, it ties the whole style together, and yet, you know, each building has like its, you know, particular kind of color palette. Like this is a really cool combination. OPG with the black stone and the warped wood. That looks super cool. Just those two colors together. Yeah, I really like that. Yeah, and the purple with the dark oak looks good. That's always looked good. Yeah, and check out this kind of roof palette, right, where he has the deep slate with the mud blocks, and man, it's just a good eye for color, man. Good eye for color. With the acacia and the, like, I would never think of this kind of stuff. I just need to learn to get houses looking good in survival. I'm too used to the creative mode. Yeah. And, you know, that can be a tough transition to make, because sometimes your creative process is really fast. And when that gets slowed down by the game mechanic of now being in survival and stuff, I don't know. I feel, for me, it's easier to get derailed. Right, it's hard to stay focused on it, right? Because it takes longer to build. Yeah, nubs. Now I can't get out. OPG, help! There he is. Dude, I'm going to head back over to my place. I've got, 25 minutes left in my stream. I need to do a little bit of gearing up. But if you're still streaming when I'm ready to wrap up, I'll raid on out over to you. maybe I can do the... Do I still have the emotes? See ya. Yeah, we'll mime everything out. He says he can't hear you. Okay. Check 1, 2. Yeah, I see my mic icon, so I think I'm good. And if I do this... Well, I can't see my own name tag, so... All right, let us try to... Goats! Oh, okay, he did the sleep, or somebody did. Thank you, thank you. Thanks. Oh, here's your scoot back. There you go. Thanks for the moderation there, Nebs. For taking out the trash. You know what I'm saying? Now, I was just on high looking at OPG's entire base. You think I'd know how to get to the portal. But that's okay, because we're right across the water, right over there. Remember, we're neighbors. So I've made this run many, many, many times. That's also why a lot of Minecrafters use Lightmatica, yeah. Yeah, just to keep that momentum going, right? We don't use that on Buffooncraft, though. No. But you're building creative on one world and copy schematic plan. It'll give you a holographic. Yes. That sounds too complicated for me, Nebs. It can be to set it up and then to learn how to use it, but once you have it down, it's super slick. The other thing that you can do is a little bit more manual, Dora, is we'll build something like in our own survival, in our own creative world off of the Buffooncraft server, and we'll build it and we'll design it and get it all set there and get all the details worked out. And then we'll just like either take screenshots or just have that open in another window, and then we'll just copy it over into Buffooncraft with survival. That's what I've done with some of the builds here. And it's so much better. What do I... Where did my boat go? Did I leave it in the... in the nether? Thanks. Sans... Yeah, that's what I've been doing on my games, yeah. That's what I did for the trade hall here on my southern island. I had it all worked out in creative mode for... Well, I wouldn't say all worked out. I had about maybe like 90% of it worked out. And then maybe a little less than that. And then when I got the pattern down to the way I wanted it, then I started to just build it over here into the Buffooncraft survival server. I did the same thing with the iron farm that you guys could see right about there. And I think I did the same thing with the mob farm that's over there. And it's nice. It keeps the momentum going. In the past, I hadn't done that. I just build it right from scratch, right on the survival server. But this time, I really leaned into that, building it and designing it into creative mode first, and then duplicating it onto here. And it's been really cool. It's been helping me prevent getting stuck in a rut. So down to the last 20 minutes of the stream. Now, somehow along the way, while I was working over at Sage's place, I lost my bow. And so I need to make a new one. And that's a cool opportunity for us to go use the trade hall, which is always a fun thing. Yeah, you guys can see I am bowless currently. Yeah, well, I always keep one of those in my inventory. We'll hang on to that. That will go into our basic chest. We can do that, and we can do that. Right. Okay. Hey there, Huxley, my boy. Let's go for a jaunt, shall we? Oh, I need to set my render distance back. We're still on 64. But I gotta say, it looks so cool to have the background rendered in OBG's place right over there. Makes me feel a little less lonely down here. Yeah, just having that mountain in the background there looks so cool. Let me see. See what we got here. I think I actually have to make the bow first, which means I need string. And I believe I have none. Yeah. So I came over here for nothing. Or not for nothing. I just forgot to grab my string first. For said bow. String, Thunder, please. Just because you don't have a set agenda for your stream doesn't mean that you can waste time making dumb mistakes like that. Let us see. String. There should be some string in here. Please. Well, there's plenty of cobwebs. Oh, don't tell me. Oh, good. I was going to say, I thought I made a string run earlier. Was in your end chest. Do you mean the lead? Yeah, I was looking for that. Let's see. Let's do this. Let's do this. No, the one you just went in. Oh, do you mean on a shulker? Before you left, okay. Well, I can always make an extra one too. It'll dawn on me in a few minutes because you know how slow I am. It's all right. I like to also have a spare. Let me see. Yeah, we're at 0322825_01. There we go with it. Yeah, we do have an event coming up on Sunday, and I want to make sure that I'm properly kitted out. Now, I think you said maybe over here, right? In one of these. Hey, Soup, welcome on in, man. I think you said it might have been one of these, right? You saw it just before I left. This may have been what you were talking about. 3 fishing rod. That one. Unless it was in one of the ones you were saying was over at Sage's place, but that's okay. Before you saw my comment. Okay. Understood. All right, let us do this. Let's see what we have for books all set to go. One thing I like to do is I like to use my enchanting ordering. Well, I say my. The enchanting ordering tool. So it's a website that you can go on and you can take an item like a bow. You can select it in a drop-down menu. Put the enchantments on that you want. And then hit calculate, and it will tell you the specific order to put those in to make that as cheap as possible. Oh, I only have 6 XP, so I'm going to have to go get some XP anyway. But let's at least go get the books together that we're going to need. The link for this enchantment tool website is in our public Discord. Not for Buffooncraft, but for the Thunderhand 64_gaming community Discord. The link to join for which is right there. Okay, so let's at least get the books together. We're going to have to slap down and do some sleeping. A little bit of sleeping. There we go. Thunderhand, what do you think of the dried ghast and the happy ghast? I cannot wait to get my hands on the happy ghast. I think that is going to be hilarious. Okay. The dried ghast and the little ghastling is cute, but the happy ghast, I think that's going to literally be a game changer. How about yourself, Soup? What do you think about it? And the rest of you viewers, too, are Minecrafters. Minecraft enchantment ordering too. Yeah, you guys can't see that. I have this up on a different display, but I'm selecting my bow right here, and I typically put flame on there with infinity, power 5, punch 2, unbreaking, and that's about it. Then we get the boss. Yeah, so I'm going to need 29 levels. So let's get those books together. Let's start with the flame book. Let's see if I have any spares. Soul speed 3, fortune 3, respiration 3, depth strider 3. What else do I have? Silk touch. Do I have any in here? Yes, I do. There's my flame. Infinity. Do I have any infinity books? Well, we're going to need punch 2. We know that. We don't have it. Okay, we'll have to buy that. That's fine. That's fine. Unbreaking 3, we're going to need one of those. And it looks like we have some of those, which is always handy. Okay, so we have those 2. Let's see what I have over here. Yeah, we're going to need our power 5, and it looks like I have some too. There's the infinity, right there. And I just need one more, and... Right? Power 5. Projectile protection 1. What's that? How did that get in there? Okay. Do I have any emeralds with which I can buy? I think I do. Right there and right here. No. I'm going to grab some across the way, though. Folks, that's why I love this trade hall so much. Oh, it's so cool. It's so OP. Let's see. Let's grab some of this. Unbreaking 3. I think I had the Unbreaking 3 books. I just grabbed the wrong book out of it. Is that what happened? Yeah, I think so. It means I only have to buy one book. Flame, Infinity. I think I'm missing the punch too, right? Right here. Done and done. Emeralds. Put that over there. Books go back in here. And we're good. I think it's very gamer. Okay, Taze, I'm heading out for the night. I'll talk to you later. Nebs, thank you so much for dropping by. Shots, some neighbors showed up to the explosion hole and got exploded. Oh, man, I wish we would have caught that on the stream. That must have looked cool. Okay, and how am I doing? 12:53. Good. Let's chop down the render distance. Although I love looking at this with 64 chunks render distance. It's so cool. Let's go, boy. Yeah, so some of this stuff, this obviously is temporary. That's got to be moved. And then we have to install the road that's around the perimeter of the island here. And these interior bits will not be entirely crossable, so... All right, let's head on over to here. Here we go. Yeah, I got to help out with this scaffolding a little bit and raise this up just by one block. I think that'll be handy. Pow. Let's go to the rooftop. I forget which direction. I think it's this way, right? East. Is the mob farm east from us? Yeah, it is. Okay. There we go. Yeah, there it is. Mushroom messages on the roof of the nether. All right. Things are going to get a little loud up here, but it's the end of the stream anyway, so. I see you. Are you blocking items from the item transport? I think you are. Let me turn this racket down. The noise! Let's get it started and then I'll kill the sound. Whoops. And so it has begun. Music of the sound. Head crab stew. Yeah, kinda. Kamakwa, hey, welcome in at the very, very end of the stream. Spawn Ender Lady. I would ask you how you are, sir, but we already know that's a foregone conclusion. Fantastically mediocre. You guys can see the auto shout-out down there for our co-streamer, Kumakwa. Please go check him out when you get a chance. So I think I will head out and I will wrap things up here. AFK while getting XP levels by murdering millions and millions and millions of zombie pigmen. Ziggies at the Ziggy farm. It's not just a feeling, it's a way of life. The way of the Potu. All right then. Let's switch on over to the cam scene. Let's go do this. Let's go right out to our friend OPG, One Player Gamer. Kuma, thank you for dropping by, buddy. I don't know for how long you've been lurking, but always good to see you. Fuck, this mouse is so hard to use. For wee hands. Not for these. There we go. So, viewers, you can see the raid message there in the chat. You can copy and paste that into the chat if you would like to join us along on this raid. Tone! Right there at the end. Hey there. Bye. See ya. I always encourage the viewers to join us along on these raids. Even if you can't stay for the entire stream, if you could just drop in and say hi. And if you feel so inclined, follow some bits, some subs, that would be really cool. Let us set up the raid itself. And there we have the raid counting down for our fellow buffoon and good friend and neighbor, One Player Gamer. We were just over at his base. Super, super cool builder. You guys will really like this. With that, I'd like to remind you guys that we do this. I'd like to remind you, friends, that we do this stream every Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Our next stream will be Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That will be Kachi time. Before that, though, the Buffoons have the Buffoon event that is coming up on Sunday. The other Buffoons will be streaming it. Please go check that out. I'll be there. I'll be recording it, but not streaming it. But they will be. And then the stream after that will be Wednesday from noon to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That will be Generations, and we'll be working on the Baby Zombie Rush beta project there. So thank you, everybody, for dropping by. It was a fun stream today. I'm glad it went as well as it did. And you guys were a big instrumental part of that. So thank you so much. And bye for now. We'll see you soon.